All right, Pakistan lose the SCG test and get swept 3-0 down under, but who cares, right? I mean, the first T20 between Pakistan and New Zealand starts today in 3 hours. Test cricket is dying anyways. Players don't want to play it. Fans don't want to watch it. It's all about leagues and T20s. So we're looking forward to that game starting today. Ramiz and Zan are here. How are you boys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, man. Welcome back, Ramiz. You weren't on the last one, right?
Thank you. I wasn't. I don't
No,
know.
you
I
weren't.
was. I was.
Ramiz has missed out on quite a few, man.
No, I was. I was on the one before that, I guess.
Yeah. Last one was the one where we where we said that you
Oh, it was
were
just the
happy.
U2. Yeah,
If
it
you
was
guys
just the
like it
U2.
with Ramiz, leave
Yeah,
a
yeah.
comment below in the Spotify comment. Sorry, buddy. I'm just kidding.
And if you don't like it with Ramiz, DM me personally so that I can
Yeah.
figure something out
Yeah.
about that.
And in both cases, just
Yeah.
subscribe to our channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yo,
true.
big win though.
Even if you don't like Ramiz, go ahead.
Big win, man. Like we Ramiz called it. He said if it's not an innings defeat in any test, then bro, we're world champions. So congratulations, boys. We're world champions.
World champions.
No, but this series was much better than we all
Mhm.
expected. I think we put up a good fight in all on the second and third game. The first game was a write-off in my opinion. It could have easily been an innings defeat. They just didn't enforce a follow-on. But yeah, series overall was significantly better than what we all expected.
How depressing though, man. Like the second test, like we could have went into the third one with confidence. I feel like if they had that confidence in the third test, it would have been a really good, a really good matchup.
I don't know what
Yeah.
I'll land to that couch.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean the SCG test was probably our best shot, right? I mean, put up 311. You get a lead in the first innings, it looked good, man. And as it often does, batting collapses. Like I remember talking about this series when we were kind of previewing it and we were saying that our bowling looks weak as hell and they came through, man. Amir Jamal, like we talked about last episode
He
too. This
shut us
guy's
all up,
this
dude. He
guy's
literally shut
solid,
us
man.
all up, man.
He did shut us all up because we were talking about like Muhammad Abbas and stuff like that. That just goes to show that like we're not pundits,
We
like
don't
we
know
don't
shit.
know
We
shit.
don't know
We
shit.
we're just fans talking about this stuff, right? So
But even
uh,
pundits, man, those guys say things
yeah,
and then they say things for like 10 games and then one game they're bound to be right. I feel like it's the easiest
that's true.
job,
It's
and
sport.
And we were
I'm
we were
I'm I'm a
actually
business analyst. I feel like my job is much harder than those guys.
exactly. Ramiz, you and I were talking about like I think in the middle of that Sydney test, they were talking about like, or I think it was in our first innings. They were talking about like, oh, Pakistan, we were batting at like a run rate of 4 and we were like 220 something for 9, and I think it was Kerry O'Keefe who was on commentary, and he said that, oh, when you come to Australia you need to grind it out, you need to stick with the Aussies. And this is the same guy who in the previous test and in the test before that was talking about like, oh, you need to be more aggressive. And when we were in the first test when we were
Yeah,
batting at like
yeah,
2 runs and
yeah,
over,
yeah,
everybody was saying you need to
yeah.
be more aggressive when you come to Australia. So these guys change their like analysis based on what's going on and just
Do you
kind
remember
of
Wasim Akram? This guy was like, "Oh, the slip should be a little bit further back," and he's like, "Oh, they don't adapt." And then next time they were back, and he's like, "Oh, they're too far back." I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about,
yeah.
man? Make up your
Wasim
mind."
Wasim Bhai is a pretty awful commentator. I think he's pretty
Yeah, he's
terrible.
just on his
But
on
he's
his
one of the
merit.
best. He's one of the best we have,
Bro,
unfortunately.
Bazid Khan,
यार
man.
हमारा criteria क्या है? The Brazil Khan is good. I
English
like
बोलनी है
him.
बस.
He's
He'll
really
put me to
boring. He's
sleep,
really
dude. He'll put me to
boring
sleep.
to listen to.
I just
Yeah,
recorded his voice and play it for
but
my
he
He's
actually has
friends.
he's
good
he's good
analysis.
though. I like him. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like him.
that's the thing, right? Like Ramesh is saying, he's one of the best we have. That's the problem because a lot of our like we have like 3 guys who can speak English well, and Wasim Akram is one of them, right? So there's
I like
not a
Ramiz
lot of people
Raja,
you can
man.
choose
I
from.
like Ramiz.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's almost
He's
like
Yeah,
really
some of
good.
the
He's
terms
the
he
he's
literally the
literally
uses.
best we
almost
have.
like the Donald
Yeah,
Trump of Pakistan commentary. He just talks about himself all the time, right? Like
his hair is like that too, right? A little bit like kind of slim. He's not
I
a
think he's
he's not a
balding.
huge.
That's why he
yeah,
just keeps long
yeah,
hair.
mashallah.
Yeah.
But hold on. Okay, hold on. So let's talk about a couple of things of that test. So why was Amr Jamal after taking 6 wickets in the first innings? 6 or 5? Well, he was our best bowler, hands down. Why was he brought on with
All
yeah,
series.
series as well. Why was he brought on with 30 runs left to defend and 8 wickets in hand for the opposition, in the last innings?
क्योंकि हसन अली बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है ना, I that really bothered me too. You're defending
Yeah.
for 130 and like, and I guess we need to talk about a few things before.
Well, I
I
wanna
guess we
mention
can
one
talk about
thing.
this
I
right
wanna
now,
mention
but
one thing. Shunny's captaincy throughout the whole 3 games was fantastic, phenomenal. Just that one
It's
blip
yeah,
really good.
that's
at
where I was.
the
That's what I
end
was gonna say.
really, really got me. It felt like it was back to Bobber. I love Bobber, but it felt like it was back to Bobber being
I think he stopped
captain.
caring at that point.
Yeah, and
I think he was
honestly, I
just like,
But
stopped
"Ab to
caring
khatam ho
too.
gaya."
if you stop
I
caring,
was
okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I stopped caring too, but I'm a fan. You're right. He shouldn't stop caring.
He
You have
shouldn't
you
stop
have
caring.
130 to defend, and we got they were 0 for 1
See,
in that first over. Bring your
Yeah.
best bowler
so
on, man. This guy he
Yeah.
has a knack of taking wickets. I know you want to open with Mir Hamza because he's a new ball bowler and he can swing more than Amr Jamal can, but bring him on first change. Hassan Ali was getting nothing off the pitch. He was not looking threatening at all, no pace whatsoever. So yeah, that didn't really make sense to me. But I will say that overall, we all talked about this. Overall, his captaincy was really spot on. There were a few moments in the
Yeah.
series where it was just really refreshing to see some of his tactics, some of his field placements, the way he got Steve Smith out. I think it was in this test, right? In the first innings, or maybe it was the last one where he put three fielders in at cover essentially in like
Yeah.
a triangle formation, and it got the wicket. So
oh, I saw that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
overall,
That
yeah,
was
I was
really
really
good.
impressed.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did stuff like that a
Yeah.
lot throughout and that's something we don't
That
see
was
from
Misbah,
Pakistan a
man.
lot. So that was
That
great to
was what
see.
Misbah, like, used to do that shit, right?
Yeah,
Like, that guy was amazing. But I guess
yeah. Misbah
Just think
Misbah
out of
used
the
to do that
box,
more
right?
with like Yasir Shah, right? He would just give Yasir Shah the ball for like 20 over spells, and he would just pack the leg side field and and do it that way. If it's a left-hander. But yeah, you gotta call it what it is, though. His tactic on that last day in the SCG test was pretty. I didn't make sense to me. I don't think he was asked about it in the press or
especially
anything, so I
well,
don't know what he was thinking. But
Hafiz, basically, like, said, "Oh, that's not what we had talked about," and he basically, like, said, "Hey, that's don't blame me, like, I didn't tell him to do that, he did it himself, that was a stupid idea." But,
yeah,
one thing.
Bro, this is what I really hate about Pakistan cricket, man. Not just cricket, like even normal like they just want to point fingers at people, man. Like you're in a position of power, just accept what happened and move on. And especially when you said before the series that, oh, if you need accountability, I'll be there, I'll be standing right there. And then as soon as the first thing comes up, you throw your captain
yeah,
under
that's a
the
very
bus.
good
It's so
point.
so
I'm not
frustrating,
impressed
man.
with
So frustrating.
Hafiz with some of the
Yeah.
comments he's made. You're right. This guy is like throwing people under the bus. He's making some really stupid comments. Zan, you and I talked about the comment he made about like we were the better team at MCG, and I'm like, dude, come on, like you can't seriously believe that, right? But yeah, anyway,
Yeah, it's just dumb.
um,
Dumb to say
yeah,
that.
that one actually made me laugh too.
That means a moral victory and a paper victory means, like, like, go home and celebrate, Hafiz, because you just won a 3-0 series in Australia, I guess. Yeah, no, it
Yeah,
just
this guy's Mohammed Kaf.
the one thing that, with the captaincy from Sean Masood, and it really, like, this really gets me. So, I don't know if you guys remember this was maybe like 2012, right? And Australia and South Africa are playing each other, and it's a draw. It's gonna be a draw, but in the last, like, hour, you know, Graham Smith gives it to Dale Steyn and his fast bowlers, and he's like, "Go nuts." And that is some of the most ferocious, like, craziest fast bowling I ever saw in my life. Dale Steyn just steaming in. It's like nothing's going anywhere. Like, this match isn't going to end, and he just goes ballistic. It was so crazy. And then I watched a documentary of Imran Khan, and he said, you know, in test matches where either we were losing or it was a draw, in the last couple hours, I would give, 5, 10 overs to my fast bowlers and be like, push yourself to the limit, like push yourself as hard as you can to condition your body, to kind of take it to that next level. Bring the best out of these players. Like, that was Imran Khan, obviously, as a captain who, nobody has really emulated at this point. And I was hoping that Sean Masood, he would give the ball to Amr Jamal and be like, listen, like this is your like canvas, paint it how you want, do what you want, try something different, try something new, go hard, go fast, like steam in. But it's again like that same crap of like crappy crap. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair, he did give the ball to him, but you're right. It was,
too
we
late.
come back to the fact that it was too late. 30
Yeah,
runs, we'll be like,
yeah.
yeah, even if he gets 2
It's almost
wickets,
like
it's 2
it's
wickets,
kind of like
right?
make something
Uh,
happen. If you can, fantastic. If you can't, like let's push
yeah.
ourselves next time. Because at that point everybody knew we were going to
Yeah,
lose.
but yeah. Yeah, I do think that's one decision that sticks out to me that was bad in the whole series, and I think if you look at it in the context of the full series, I think that's a pretty good series for him, captaining the team for the
Yeah,
first time, going to Australia. Like we said, this was a death sentence for any
but he
captain,
did well.
and even though it was 3-0,
Really well.
there are no moral victories here. But I think this. I was listening to the Great Cricketer, and they were talking about like they thought it was going to be like pure carnage, and it ended up being a fairly competitive series. It's not going to be like that when West Indies plays 2 tests there. Like I think they're starting shortly. So
Yeah, and this
uh,
was a full
I wanted to read
strength.
a
Oh, they're
This
tweet
was
playing
a
from
today?
him.
full strength Australia side. Like to have the top three, like start Cummins and Hazelwood.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Nathan Lyon. Like you're facing the best in the world. So yeah, sorry, continue.
yeah. I just wanted to read a tweet from Mother Arshad, which kind of summarized it pretty well. He said, "Nothing to celebrate as it's still a 0-3 defeat, but in terms of bowling, this was Pakistan's best tour of Australia in the last 28 years. Their bowling average was 34.87, the best since 1995. And I think 95 was the last time we won tests there, right? For context, Pakistan's average on the previous tour in 2019 was 88.69, their worst
Wow.
ever. So if you look at it in those terms,
Wow.
I think pretty good effort. Again, like I said, there are no like you still got whitewashed, so there's no. But I think there are moments in this series where we're gonna look back and be like, man, if Abdullah Shafiq hangs on to a catch,
If
if
Sean
our batting
Masood,
doesn't
he dropped a
collapse, and
couple
maybe
as
we
well,
do.
right? Shani, yeah.
Yeah, Shan Masood dropped
Yeah.
a couple. Fielding in general was pretty bad. But specifically in the SCG test, since that was the last one that just finished, that second innings, the pitch was getting difficult to bat on, but it wasn't a 115 pitch. It wasn't like, you have a lead and time, this happens a lot too, right? To Pakistan. That was more pressure than just amazing bowling. Or if you look at like let's quickly go through the scorecard, I guess. I'm looking at the second innings here, and I'm going to try to remember all the wickets that fell. Uh, Abdullah Shafiq got a peach by Stark when he got bowled. Saima Ayub was at LBW. It was kind of a full ball. He should have played it. Shan Masood played a terrible shot. Babar Azam, I don't remember his wicket. Oh, that was the caught
The
behind.
no. It
Yeah.
was in swing on the wickets. Bold,
No,
right?
that was the first innings. This
Oh,
is
okay.
caught carry bowled head. So this was
Oh
it
yeah,
was
the
kind of a
spin
full ball. He was
outside
trying to
off.
cover drive it, and he got
Yeah,
caught behind. South
yeah.
Shakil, terrible shot when Hazelwood came on and took those wickets. Rizwan, I don't remember his wicket.
Hazelwood just completely turned the game around.
Yeah,
Those three
yeah. And
wickets
then
in that
Agha
over.
Salman too when he came on as after the night watchman Sajid Khan. A lot of these guys played balls that they should have just left. And that's the kind of thing you look at and go, it could have been different. You could have done something. You set a target of I think 180 even, and the game looks completely different. I think when you
Yeah,
start bowling.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
but yeah, that's what that is. Anything else you guys want to mention about this tour, this series, this game? All in all, it was fun to watch. I think, at least for me, it was more competitive, like I said, than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining series for sure. My only uh, issue with Shan Masood was he dropped Imam for the last game, and it was pretty sad for me, to be honest.
Really?
Do you think he dropped him though, or do you think
Yeah,
manager
of
dropped
course, bro. Abdullah Shafiq, 2 ducks, bro. Like who gets a pair? And then he dropped the big catch of
him? Yeah,
Beach
but
Marsh
you
also.
didn't know
So
that, right? He
it's
got a
like a
pair in
net
the last
net
test.
negative. Abdullah Shafiq was a net negative for that game. Like
Yeah,
he
no,
single
definitely.
handedly.
But you don't know
Yo,
that
they
going
could
into
if
the
they
game,
had
right? When
dropped
we were talking
I mean,
at
I
MTV,
did say before the game though that I would rather play
if he
Imam
had
than play
dropped
Abdullah.
Abdullah
So
Shafiq after those drop catches, bro, that we would have been cursing at him for doing that because of how well he.
Well, Ramiz wouldn't,
No,
right? Ramiz
but
we
we
had
would
the
have been
Yeah,
argument,
like,
right? He
dude,
was
that's.
saying we
But
should
then
drop.
it goes back to like this is Pakistan's problem, right? Then we go back to the same bullshit of, chop and change, chop
it's
and
not a
change.
problem if you're dropping catches. If you're losing games for your team, then you have to be
Yeah, but that's
dropped.
an unsaid thing,
I
right?
mean,
You have to be
I think we
dropped.
talked about it. We don't-
Yeah, of course, because he dropped Warner in the first game. Warner scored another 120 runs
Right.
after that. He dropped Mitch Marsh in the last game. He scored 70 runs. Like we saw a pattern in the first two games. He dropped
But
three
they
or four
but
catches in the
but
first
again,
two
it goes
games, right?
back to
yeah.
So there's two things. There's two things you can do at that point. Either you drop him, because you're dropping an opener anyway. You could consider dropping him. Or second is you take him out of the slips. I'm shocked, super shocked that no one in the entire dressing room
Yeah.
said, "Oh, move Abdullah Shafiq out of the slips." That's like
And
basics,
I
right?
would
Like,
tell
how
I
do
would
you
be
do
that's
like,
that?
what we
"Bro,
talked
move
about, right?
me.
That's what
Move
that
me out of the slips. Are you guys stupid?"
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
right?
So that's
But
two
I
two
can
blips on Sean Masood's captaincy. Okay? That's two. And that first one is massive, right?
yeah,
Like
not moving him out of the slips is another
the
big one.
drops is massive. That's bowling Amr Jamal is not, it was already a lost game, but this like completely forgot about the
Yeah.
drops. The drops and keeping him there is massive, yo.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, Islam Ayub comes in, he plays fields on the first slip, and he drops a sitter too.
Aga
And I'm just
Salman had
like,
to
dude,
take a
Yeah,
what the
shit,
hell
yeah,
are
you're
you
man.
right.
guys
Aga
These are
doing,
Salman
these are
man?
decisions that
Aga
like
Salman had to take a shit, man. It's just, that's just,
यार
yeah, they
मजाक
talked
बनाया
about that, right?
मतलब, bro, you're running in for the national team and you can't even take a
But
sitter in slips. Like,
shit,
come
man.
on,
yeah,
man.
yeah. The one thing I was, we were talking about like why isn't Salman Agha at first slip where all the catches are going? And I looked at I don't know who it was giving a presser after one of the games, but I think it was actually Salman Ali Agha, and he was saying that statistically more catches go towards second slip. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
So they did think about that, I guess. And they put their best slip fielder in second slip in Salman Aliaga, and he took some really good catches in slip. So,
he did. He
we're
did.
in hindsight when you look at this stuff, you're like, oh, he should have moved Salman Aliaga into first slip or whatever it is. But I still don't forgive him for not moving Abdullah Shafiq when he's dropped two. You gotta
Okay,
move
sorry,
him
I
out
got a
there.
question. I got a
Yeah.
You
question.
gotta move him somewhere on the field. Put him at deep mid wicket or something. Put him at deep square leg or
Or
put
even
him
like
somewhere.
cover or short mid wicket somewhere,
Yeah,
even in the circle somewhere other than
Take
slips
him
is
off the
fine.
field for a bit.
Zan, go ahead.
Take him off the field for a bit. Cool down. Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure. So there's wicket keeper, first slip, second slip, right? So
Mhm.
where is it? What
Make
about
sure there's
Yeah.
Babur
one as
then?
well.
Because he usually plays. So
Yeah,
Babur
that's
and
what I was
Salman
thinking
Ali
too.
Aga. Anyways, man, I don't know.
So after drop
Yeah.
catches in the second test, I think it was Babar was eventually brought into slips, and third test he started in the
I feel
slips
like
as well, I
Babur just
believe.
like twiddles his thumb and
Uh,
says, "You want me to do that? Sure. You want me to do that? All right, I'll do it." He doesn't like give a shit anymore.
But Babar is a good slip
Yeah,
fielder
really
too,
good.
right? He should have been in there.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
these are all yeah.
It's always younger shit with these
And
guys,
Ramiz, that's a
man.
really good point about like you said, Simon Yu being in slip. I think that's a big mistake. Why is your debutant is fielding in slip? I don't know if this guy is like a specialized slip fielder because that is a
यार मसला ये है कि the catches that were dropped, they weren't hard catches, right? Like you don't even need to be a slip fielder
yeah.
to catch
You're
those.
right.
Like they were
Yeah.
all of them were easy catches. Like if I remember there was one where Salman Ali dove to his right and he took a catch with one hand, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, this is a difficult catch. If he dropped this, I would give him a pass. But all the catches Abdullah Shafiq dropped, the one Simon you dropped,
And
they were
even the one
all
All
Shani
sitters. He
sitters.
dropped,
catched
even
Yeah.
the
all
one Sean
sitters.
Masood dropped, those were sitters, dude.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
yeah,
That's big shit,
yeah.
man.
I remember Haris was
What
saying
was
it was
that
a
guy's
tough
name?
one.
Steve? Yeah. Yeah. What was that guy's name? Steve Rickson? You guys remember our fielding coach,
Steve
Who
Steve
is that?
Rickson.
Rickson? Is that what his name was? They
Oh no, it was yeah. I think that's his name.
Bradburn was our fielding coach first, and then
Bradburn
they for
used to be
some
their fielding coach before he became
and then
head
for
coach,
some
right?
reason they made him head coach. I don't know why.
That's
Because
what I
our
was
fielding was
saying.
pretty solid under him.
Fielding coach of Pakistan is like the fucking easiest job. Nobody asks you anything, and the team always sucks at fielding, and you don't get any criticism ever.
Yeah.
But going back to we argued about this a lot, but off air we argued about this. But I think the solution is to keep Abdullah Shafiq and just not field him in an important position.
Yeah, that is the
I think he
solution.
does provide way more upside on the batting side than Imam does. So I think
Do you agree,
that's what it
Ramesh?
should be. But
The third test disagrees with you.
well, the third, so that's what I'm saying, right? If there was a fourth test, yes, maybe you reevaluate then. But after the second test, you have to play Abdullah. I'm sorry, but you have to play Abdullah Shafiq based on
If there was
batting.
a fourth test, would you drop
That
Abdullah and bring in Imam after he got this pair? No,
Me?
Usman.
Well,
I
You would
wouldn't.
still play
No,
Abdullah, right?
I
I
would
have
still
to
play
say the
Abdullah.
same. I'd
You have to.
probably do the
there are
same
two
thing.
there are two sides on this podcast. One is me that wants to play him. The other is you guys. No matter what
That's
Imam
not
does, he
true.
has to be dropped.
That's not
Nahi,
That's
to
it.
true.
tum bhi to, what you were saying is no matter what Imam does, I have to play him. So that's the
I mean,
same thing you're doing.
Abdullah
Right?
Abdullah proved me right though. He got a pair and he dropped a catch. He single-handedly lost us the game.
Imam also didn't do anything other than that 60 of like 400 deliveries that he played in at Perth,
Yeah,
right?
I
He
mean,
didn't do
Usman
anything
Khwaja
else.
batted like
No,
that too,
Imam
right?
did a
Usman
yo,
Khwaja was
dude.
also
Imam
batting
did
like
good
that.
batting like that
Imam
at
did a
Perth.
really
I'll
good
say
job
that
in
for
that
sure.
first game.
He maybe should have rotated a little bit.
He's the only good
Well,
batsman we
she should
have.
have rotated a little bit, and then he did some Dunger shit by coming out of the crease and being a Dunger. But it's all good. Um,
Ramiz, I remember talking after, I think after the MCG test, or maybe during the MCG test, we were talking on our WhatsApp group, and we were like, who are the two best batsmen or something? And you were like
yeah,
Abdullah
he did say
Shafiq,
that.
and
Yeah,
who else was it?
yeah. He was. I
So
can't
then
deny that, right?
why would you drop him for the third test then?
Because you dropped catches.
Did he
Come
drop?
on, that's the thing, right? You got
Did he drop anything in
He
I
dropped
can
MCG?
three
see the
catches,
logic. I can
bro.
see the logic.
Bro, this podcast is gonna be so bad.
Three
Everybody's so
catches.
excited, and
It's
we're all
not.
just talking over each other.
No,
Okay,
no,
let's
we're not
move
doing
on
that. We
from
love
this,
each other.
man. Let's move on.
Yeah,
We
let's
can
move on.
Yeah.
bash
Anything else you
Ramiz
guys want to
over other
mention
things,
about
man.
this? Yeah, like I said, nobody cares about Test cricket. Test cricket is gonna die
Yeah.
anyways. No one's gonna care about this 10 years from now.
I don't think it's gonna die,
No,
man. I
man.
don't think it's gonna die. I know we're gonna get to. I know we're
India,
gonna get to
Australia,
it.
and England are just gonna
But
keep
yeah,
playing each other over and over again.
Let's get into it now, then. Yeah,
yeah.
the three teams are gonna
So
keep
I
playing.
think, yeah, I think that's the case. Pakistan will probably be around because of this series. Australia might give us more opportunities to play against us. But I think you were gonna mention South Africa versus New Zealand Test series, or South Africa is taking like fourth, fifth, sixth. I don't know what string team,
Yeah,
and I think the reason for that is easy to figure out. There, it's World Cup year, T20 World Cup year. Everyone just wants to play T20s. Test cricket is
SA20.
not
Yeah.
priority right now. For the
So
next
that's
6
the other
months,
thing,
Test cricket
right?
is not
Like,
priority.
I think these T20 World Cups are too frequent. Every 2 years, and
Every
then
2 years,
what happens
much.
is, you have World Test Championship happening at the same time. Then the ODI World Cup comes around. So nobody's prioritizing Test cricket then, right? Other than Australia and England and India to some extent too. India actually, yeah, they do prioritize Test cricket too. Um, but it's just like what do we do? Not we, but what does cricket need to do about this? Because this just looks poor, right? Like you're there's it's a two match test series, and you're taking like a fourth string side. All of your best players are playing SA20. Nobody. I We talked about it briefly in the last episode. I was saying that I recognize like one or two names from this team that they've picked, right? So like I don't know what the solution is. You know, we joke about it, but I think Test cricket needs to be around for the sport to be around. I think, or maybe it just
No,
becomes like a league thing.
yeah, I
Maybe
think
international cricket won't really even be a thing 10, 20 years from now. Who knows?
yeah, I think first step they need to take is scrap ODI cricket for sure. I was talking to my friend yesterday and I was like, 8 hours is too long. I know Test cricket is 5 days and 8 hours, but Test cricket is different, right? Like you can miss a day, watch the next day, watch a session, miss one session. But one ODI cricket, it's like you want to watch the whole thing or you don't want to watch anything, sort of
Yeah,
thing. But
yeah,
it's 8 hours. And what I've noticed in this last World Cup was more and more teams are starting to play one day cricket like T20 cricket, right?
yeah,
Just go all out, go crazy, score as many runs as you can, which is obviously the goal of the game. But if you're playing 50 over game like a 20 over game, you might as well scrap that format. The other thing I was thinking was uh, cricket wasn't as commercialized before as it is now, right? Especially with what IPL did. Before it was only bilateral series and one World Cup every 4 years. Now there's so many leagues going on all around the world. People are making so much more. Players are making so much more money, and obviously priorities change, right? Like especially for players from Pakistan, where most of them, 9 out of 10 players, come out of nothing. Their background is poor families, not very educated. I feel for those guys, it's a game changer. I don't want the game to go to fully league cricket because it takes out the connection you have with your national team, right? I'll probably still end up watching, but it won't be as interesting as international cricket for sure.
For sure, yeah. I like what can we do, or what can cricket do to make test cricket more lucrative, or make it more exciting, or make fans want to watch it more? I don't know if there's a, obviously we don't have a solution right now, but I don't know, like there must be something that can be done by the board, by the governing body ICC, by the powerful teams like India, Australia, England, to turn this into something that people actually want to go watch. We're talking about ODI cricket, scrap it. It's too long. So it's either a 3-hour game or it's a 5-day game, right? So then
Yeah,
then it becomes like only the purists are watching test cricket, and
yeah,
then you're trying to use T20 cricket to kind of promote, to gain new audience and new fans and
yeah,
stuff like that, right?
yeah,
And I guess that's fine. I just still think that when you start, everybody's got a league now, right? South Africa's got a league, Sri Lanka's got a league, and the schedules aren't starting to, now they're not lining up with other stuff. So now you're in a situation where, as a team like South Africa, they have to now decide, okay, what do we want to do more? What do we care about more? Do we care about, like you said, the T20 World Cup coming up? Do we care about that more? And do we care about our own league before we prioritize this two-test series against New Zealand, right? So the more leagues that pop up, I think the tougher it's going to get to, find a window for these test series, for everybody, right? And then, like we're saying, I think it might just be like India, Australia, England. These teams are just playing each other, and that's already kind of happening, right? Like these guys are playing 4 test series, every year or couple of years. Ashes happen. India's touring again, Australia next year, and like nobody else has, like Pakistan is not playing a test series until what, like summer, right? Or
September, I think. September,
September,
October, something
October,
like that.
yeah. And that's West Indies away, right? um
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, that's, nobody else is gonna, like, you think of teams like Zimbabwe, they have test status. When was the last time these guys did anything meaningful in test
Do
cricket,
they
right?
do they have test status? They have test status still?
They do, yeah.
Wasn't it
I
taken
As far
away?
as I know, I don't think it's been taken away,
Oh,
as far as I
interesting.
know, but yeah, this
So
is a sad
the thing
discussion.
you were mentioning, yeah, the thing you were mentioning about leagues and windows and stuff. I think from what I've noticed so far, the only league that actually stops international cricket is IPL, and there's not much you could do about it. There's so too much money involved in it to change anything from it, right?
Yeah,
Um, going back to the point where it's a World Cup year, um, Cummins and Stark, I believe, they haven't played IPL for a very long time, and this is the first time they're playing IPL in like 5, 6 years, something like that. And again, it goes back to the World Cup year. If it wasn't a World Cup year, I don't think they would have signed up again. They would have probably let it go again if it was like maybe an ODI World Cup year or something. Like last year, Cummins didn't play last year either because he wanted to prep for the ODI World Cup. The other teams, I feel the only teams that need to worry about a window is, say, for example, if Pakistan is playing PSL, they're not going to have a series at the same time. That's what really bothers me. Why did South Africa even agree to the series when they know that they have their own T20 league going on at the same time, right?
yeah,
I think the
you're right.
Future Tours program was set before SA20 because last year was the first year of SA20, and then they also canceled that Australia and Pakistan or Australia and South Africa series, the ODI series. They canceled it. Um,
But with
You're right.
FTP though, they don't say like when you have to play. They just say,
well, they
okay,
try
this
to
is
fit it all
the
in, right? Like they
5 year
fit it all
window,
in a
2 year
window,
window.
right? And New Zealand,
Yeah, so there's like 2 years, right? So you have to play that series. It doesn't matter when you play it. You just have to play it within those 2 year
yeah,
cycle. So South Africa, if they
नहीं,
really
लेकिन
wanted to, they
लेकिन
could have moved it
यूजुअली जो
around.
है, एफटीपी जब भी when we Google it, अगले 4 3 4 साल का
that's what I
schedule set
mean.
होता है,
Yeah,
like it's like like
But
not
they can move them around though.
specific
They're
dates.
allowed to move them around.
They are,
They
yeah,
can
yeah,
move
you're
them
right.
around.
They're allowed to
Yeah,
move them around. Like Pakistan canceled their Ireland series or whatever it was. Like
yeah,
there's no repercussions for not adhering to those
yeah,
schedules. But what I'm saying is it's kind of already fit into windows in
yeah.
advance, right? So yeah, I don't know. Like, is there anything you guys would change in the game itself in Test cricket to make it more exciting? I don't know if I don't have anything off the top of my head, but I'm just while we were talking about uh, what can we do to make this drive more fans into stadiums other than Australia, England, these guys bring in a lot of fans for Test cricket. India does too, but for other teams, what can we
I
do?
think for me, one of the biggest things is having like neutral pitch curators, neutral people to kind of set the stage of how it's going to be. This is why I also hate I guess like maybe just the India World Cup. Um, I really didn't like it because everything was almost like, how do we get home court advantage like as much as possible? But I think with tests, like, Ramiz Raja pulled that bullshit last year when we could have seen some crazy tests. Like the South Africa shit that just happened in India, Dust Bowls in India, like that kind of stuff. Like, it's just a home team that gets a freaking hard on off, like watching that shit, right? Like the
Yeah,
rest of the public is like, this is kind of crap, right? So even with like we and with something like the Pakistan New Zealand and the Pakistan England and the Pakistan Australia series, like we had so many tests that year and they completely ruined them. Even the home crowd was kind of pretty pissed off about it. So I think that having neutral pitch curators would be a big game changer. And obviously, you got to
yeah,
work with what you
yeah.
have, right?
I
Like
think
the location makes it different, like moisture, humidity, all
the
of that,
weather and
right?
all that
Yeah,
stuff, right?
100%.
But
But
yeah,
there's a way to kind of skirt that a little bit.
yeah,
Make it as good as possible.
yeah.
But then, don't you think it takes away the home advantage if you don't get to make your own
But
pitches?
for what? Like, it's just like, we've seen what that is. Like, home advantage is great. Like, that's where the fan base is,
No, I
right?
mean,
Like, look at hockey, right? You play on ice. The fans are what make it the home advantage, right? Look at baseball, look at football, look at
No, but
all
it's
these
different
things. No,
sports,
but,
right?
but that's what
Different
I'm
sport.
saying, right? Like,
yeah, yeah, and
why should
also
being at home give you an advantage in your game, like physically instead of like psychologically and mentally, right? It should be, this is the
no, no, I think that's fine. I think that I'm okay with that. I think what Ramiz is saying, yeah, there is an element of that. There always has been in cricket, right? And because weather and things like that, and soil and grass, that kind of shit
Yeah,
play, and different places have different versions of that, right? So that always is gonna be impactful in terms of who's gonna get it. The I like the idea of neutral pitch careers actually, and I don't think that completely takes away the advantage that the home team
not at
has
all.
because it's still their conditions. It's just somebody is coming in and saying, you know, make it in a way. Just basically don't let them do what India
Yeah, like
does,
it's not like Rohit Sharma
right?
coming in saying,
So
"Hey,
that's what
you
we're
need to make the
saying.
pitch like
That's what
this,"
we're saying.
right? Like it's not like that. Like there should be,
Yeah,
and I think like pitch. I don't want to say pitch tampering, but I think that should be treated like a thing. Where if a home side or
yeah,
a player or a coach or an administrator, anybody that's involved with the team directly comes to the pitch curator and says, "You need to do this or you need to do that," that should be seen as like a problem.
yeah, yeah,
I think
and
pitches that were made in Australia were really, really good in the sense that there was a little bit for both batsmen and bowlers, right? Those
exactly,
These
yeah,
pitches
pitches
were
were pretty much
fantastic.
made for yeah,
they were
amazing
amazing.
pitches.
Yeah,
I think
the
I
MCG
think
pitch
those
was
pitches were
fantastic.
I think the pitches were really made to get a result out of the game, right? So they weren't made like Pakistani pitches where um, you keep playing for 10 days and you're still not going to get a result.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
agreed.
But yeah, essentially, even if India, if they had let's say you give them a neutral pitch curator for home tests, they're not they're still going to be spinning pitches. India is still going to have that advantage over Australia or whoever the visiting team is, but it just won't be as
It's not
egregious,
gonna be
right?
like raging turners,
So yeah,
right? Like, it's not gonna be you literally
yeah,
throw the
yeah,
ball, you don't even put any spin on it, and it just, like, hits you in the face, right? Like,
yeah. Like a new ball on day one is like turning
yeah.
square, right? Like
Joe
that's
Root's taking
ridiculous.
6 for
What
8,
do you guys think of?
like, that's messed up, dude, right?
Yeah. What do you guys think of the visiting team deciding to basically essentially winning the toss. So they get to
What do you mean?
decide what they want to do first. The visiting team.
See, I think that
Yeah,
I
I
think
think that
that's
could
okay
work.
too.
That could work.
But I think in a place um okay, so in a place like England where it's like, oh, it's cloudy, it's overcast, oh, like this is the weather, that plays a role in batting or bowling first too, right? It doesn't necessarily have to fully do
Yeah.
with just what the pitch itself looks like. But what about like a place like, again, we go back to India, like a place like India where you're in, frick man, I don't even remember, where Joe Root took 6 for 8, right? And you don't have the skill level to maybe actually, I don't know. I don't know where I'm getting with this. Cut it. You guys go ahead.
Yeah, I think the only reason I mentioned that is because in a lot of these games, in a lot of matches, the home team already has a massive advantage. So India, for
Okay, sorry.
example,
I
right?
know.
They
I know
already
where
have
I'm
a
going with
massive
this. I know where
advantage.
I'm going with this. So, like in India, where they
Go ahead.
they watered one side of the pitch because they had certain batsmen, right? Like if you still bat first or bowl first, like they have, did pitch. I'm going to use the phrase pitch tampering because that's what's happening. They've messed with the pitch enough where first, second, whatever, like you really have to really dig your feet in, or you have to keep hitting the ball onto the other side to kind of mess up that side. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
the game
mean,
where
so
Australia had 7
Yeah, so I
left-handers.
don't. I don't. I don't
yeah,
think that.
and on those pitches, batting fourth becomes a really big problem, right? So that they're already turning square. It's going to get drier, foot marks and everything. They're going to come into play, and then it becomes even a bigger challenge to chase a target down in the fourth innings, right? If you get there, if you don't get innings defeated in like inside 2 or 3 days, right? But I do think in general that would kind of offset it a little bit, giving the away captain the um, the decision what they want to do, that lets them kind of have a little bit of you know looking at the conditions, say, okay, here's what we want to do, here's what we don't want to do we want to chase in the fourth innings here, that kind of thing. But anyways, I think we're getting too
This
deep
is a
into this. Maybe
serious
this is a discussion we should
conversation,
have
bro. This is where we should be spending all our time, man. But yeah,
all our
I
time,
think the
right?
pitch is like, or
One
the
thing I want
toss is more like, imagine you're playing in like Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and it's like, oh, like visiting team gets to choose like if they're gonna bat or bowl first. Like you're gonna have like they're gonna win 9 times out of 10, right? Yeah, but sorry, go on.
yeah. Yeah, I guess we should mention while we're talking about pitches and stuff like that. South Africa versus India, Cape Town test, the second test was the shortest of all time. Ended inside 2 days. We talked about it briefly, Zan, I think last time in the last episode. But yeah, Rohit Sharma mentioned that he's fine playing on these pitches, but just keep your mouth shut when we play at home. So he was kind of alluding to the fact that they have the pitches that they have, and nobody should complain about them because this is what South Africa did. So
India
I
like
don't know if you
boggles
guys have
my
any thoughts
mind
on that.
sometimes, man. They do what they want. They get called out. Something else happens. They cry about something else happening and saying, "Why are you pointing the finger at us?" And then 9 times out of 10, they say, "The '80s and '90s, England and Australia were big bullies. So now, why are you guys telling us what to do?" That's literally their life story, dude. That's literally their life story.
That does sound like
Yeah, man. That's
India.
literally their life story.
Yeah,
But anyways, continue. And
they're
they
still
still
getting
can't win.
back in
And they still
Australia and
can't win a
England for all
World
those
Cup.
years.
Right?
That's the best part. That's the best. I want to mention here we were talking the episode called "Deafening
Dude, best
Silence,"
episode ever.
which was right after India lost the World Cup final. That's our only episode that has reached 1,000 views. So thank you, people, for
Yeah. Would
watching that a
would
lot of
appreciate
times.
some more views on other
It,
episodes, but you know,
yeah, no, just keep watching that one. That's a really good one
that's our
because
cash cow.
we had a
That's our
blast
cash
shitting on
cow,
India.
yo.
Yeah, we had a fun time just making fun of Rohit Sharma and, and everything. Okay, yeah, let's move on. I guess that took a while. Do you guys want to do a quick year review for Pakistan 2023 review in all formats?
Garbage,
I'll just
trash,
run through some
trash,
stats.
garbage, shit,
It was
crap.
garbage. We already know it was
Yeah.
garbage. I'll just run. I'll just run through some quick stats. In tests, we played only 2 series. Sri Lanka away, we won 2-0, and Australia away, we lost 3-0. If you I guess if you consider the New Zealand series that we played at home, which started in late December, and one test happened in the new year in Jan, that series was a 0-0 draw. Both matches were drawn. And if you go back before that, in December, we played England, where we got whitewashed at home 3-0. So not a
Hmm.
good recent pass for Pakistan in Test cricket. ODIs, we played 25, went 14-10 with one no result. That was the India game at Asia Cup. And T20s, we played
The
11.
turning point.
The
The
turning
turning
point
point.
where everything went to shit, right? We should mention that even that's the winning record, 14-10. But we should consider that New Zealand, the ODI series that happened at home, they sent like their third team, and we won that one. Then we beat them then they won when they sent their first 11. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess.
Man, I hate that. I hate that narrative, man. Like, it's not our fault. They're not sending the best team. Just
Yeah,
we
it's
won
not
the
it's not our
games.
fault,
That's
but
it.
I
Like,
don't know, like
it's really frustrating when all Babar's runs are taken away from him. Like, oh, he played B team, C team. So मैंने बोला था कि उसको B team, C team भेजने का.
what were you about
अपनी
to say?
मर्जी से आएगी ना B team, C team.
He was about to say it. I heard it. You can
Yeah, I
say it,
started.
man.
I
You
backed
can
off.
say it. It's this is
Yeah,
I mark it as
he's
explicit
one of
on
our favorite
Spotify.
players, bro.
Yeah, my nephew came up to my mom and he's like, "Oh, Chachu swears on his podcast. His
No
podcast says
way.
E. He's like, it says
Oh
E on it."
no. No,
Like,
just
bruh,
tell them that me and Zan swear, right?
E?
Tell them
What's
you're a saint.
E?
that's what I did. E is
Explicit.
explicit.
Oh, achong. How old is this guy?
He's 10
Yo,
years old.
How old
yeah.
is this guy? Anyway, Ramiz almost had
But yeah,
a
like
slip there. He said BC
Yeah.
almost.
No,
PC
I'll say
almost,
it.
yeah.
He almost
It's
said
not.
Ben.
he
It's
almost
not.
said Ben Stokes.
It's not our Ben
Ben
Stokes. Yeah,
Stokes, yeah.
like it's not our fault they're sending whatever team they're sending, man. Just
Yeah,
stop with
man.
that
If
shit,
they,
man.
yeah, fuck that, man.
So wait, hold on. I'm not saying take Babar's runs away, and I'm not saying obviously the win is
No,
the
like
win. But I'm
on
just
Reddit,
saying,
if you see on
yeah,
Reddit, there's a huge agenda
yeah.
running on
It's usually Indians, right, who say that Zimbabwe and shit like that,
yeah.
right?
And what
Zimbabwe is
annoys
my
me more
favorite
is
nickname, dude. It like flows so well and stuff. It's such
Zimbabwe.
an odd.
I
I
knew you
love
were gonna say
Zimbabwe,
that.
yo. Yeah, yeah. Zimbabwe.
uh, anyway, T20s played 11. We went 4-6 and one no
Wow.
result. So that's our record. We suck.
Woo.
Let's move on. Quickly want to get your take, both of your guys' take on this. Steve Smith is going to be opening the batting for
That's
Australia
sick.
in tests moving forward. That's going to be nice. I want to watch those test matches against West Indies. Let's see how he does. West Indies is going to get smacked, I think. They're not going to do as well as us. They're not going to do as well
They're
as
doing
they're going to lose 2-0, but
they're
visually
doing
it's
well
not
in
going to be as
the
good as us.
they're doing well in the tour match.
What's the score? What's going on?
They're
in that
on the
match?
last day, and Cricket Australia need 387 runs to win. So first inning, West Indies 251 for 8 declared, and then Cricket Australia scored 174, and then second inning 174 all out, and then West Indies 315 for 5 declared, and now they're at 6 for no loss.
अगर शान
The
मसूद
last
होता
day they
तो
probably.
ये कहता कि ये it doesn't matter, it's a tour match.
I mean, yeah, it didn't matter, right? हमसे तो बेहतर परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं टूर मैच में, लेकिन ये लोग
नहीं
पॉजिटिव
तो
साइन.
वो अच्छा कर रहे हैं, तो हम जब अच्छा कर रहे थे तो तुम कह रहे थे कि सारा
हमने
बेकार
कहाँ
है
अच्छा
वो.
किया यार, हमने कहाँ अच्छा किया, खाली शान मसूद ने अच्छा किया था. वो
Yeah,
बेचारा
so
लोन
you
सोल्जर,
said his
लोन
200
वॉरियर था
was
बेचारा.
nothing, right? You said his 200 was
I
garbage.
did. 100% I did. It was useless, bro. It didn't
That,
help
by the
us
way,
in the
I think
series.
is the same narrative as actually that's not the same narrative. This is a tour
It's
match.
not.
It's different from
It's really
international.
not.
It's okay, yeah, that's not the same thing. I guess yeah, let's move on to the T20s, man. That game is starting in what? Like we're gonna be watching it in 3 hours. You guys are gonna stay
3
up, right?
hours. Yep.
You guys are both
My
staying
dad
up.
was laughing at me.
My dad. Every time I tell my dad now that my dad stopped watching cricket completely like 5 years
Good
ago.
for him.
and He didn't even know there was a test series going on. I went to
Was
Ottawa and I
there
started
a
watching.
reason why he stopped?
He's just like he. My dad is the reason I got into cricket, and then like we grew up watching cricket together, and then when we got really shit, he just stopped. Well, I guess we've always been really shit for the last 10 years or 15 years or so, but up until like early 2000s, he used to watch, I think, and then
2002, I think we were good last, and then after that, it was just
yeah,
trash.
I remember watching the 2007 and 2003 World Cups
Oh,
with my
God.
dad, and he was really into it at that time. I remember, But after that, he just lost interest. I would like he didn't even know there was a series going on. I watched like day 4 and 5 of Sydney Test with him, and he was like, he got really angry, and he just left when we lost a few of those wickets. He was like, "This is why I don't watch cricket," and he got up and left. But yeah, let's move on to the T20s, right? Um, what do you guys think? How do you guys think Shaheen's
Azam
going to do
Khan.
as captain? Oh, let's start with Azam Khan. How
Azam
do you think
Khan.
Azam Khan is going to
Bro,
do?
the team's back full of being like fucking shitheads, man. Azam Khan, Imamul Haq, no
Sorry,
offense.
but
Sean Masood,
uh,
no
There's no Imam,
offense.
bro.
Like, I'm just saying,
There's no
like,
Imam. There's
this
no
is the new
Shan.
lobby, dude. Is like, these lullers, right? Like Azam Khan, what is that? What is he doing in the team, right? Like, and the thing is, like, okay,
yeah, Muhammad
okay, I
Haris,
have
like,
seen stats of saying like Azam Khan's strike rate against spin is like the best. Azam Khan spin, Azam Khan spin, like that's what it is. And you're playing in New Zealand, bro. Like, how is this guy gonna? I don't know, man. Maybe he'll prove us wrong, but I don't approve. I don't approve at all.
yo, a friend of mine.
The series is. Yeah, go ahead, Osman.
I was just gonna say, a friend. We were talking about. I was talking to this a friend of mine about this Azam Khan thing like a couple of weeks ago, and he sent me his stats in T20s. This guy has played 5 matches, and he has an average of 2.3. And he has the
Internationals, right?
strike rate of 53. And I
Oh
couldn't stop
God!
laughing because I was like, what the fuck is this?
Wow,
But anyway, sorry,
wow,
go on,
that's
Ramesh.
insane.
Go on.
So hold on.
I
Oh, sorry.
was.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Remy. Sorry, sorry.
Oh, go. I can't
So
remember
it's
what I was
okay. We
talking
talked
about,
enough
to
to
be
make you
honest.
forget. So Azam Khan, sure. No, not sure. Sorry, Azam Khan, WTF? Muhammad Haris, bigger WTF?
I know,
Okay, go ahead.
I know what I was. Yeah, I remember now. I was saying, I think this series is bigger than just the New Zealand tour, right? Again, it goes back to the World Cup year. Um, uh, Azam Khan, Saim Ayub, they both played in the CPL earlier, towards the end of last year. Before, I think, like, when was it? October, I think. Uh, November actually, and they both put up decent numbers, and I think that's the reason why Azam Khan has been brought in, because the World Cup's in the Caribbean too. Part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. His
I
runs,
just,
his stats would say that he deserves to be there, but then you look at the fitness and you're like, what kind of standard are you setting for the team, for
yeah.
the rest of the players, right?
And beyond that, I think Muhammad Haris is somebody who you want to see in the team, man. I don't know about you guys, but this guy, I don't
So
think he deserved to be dropped. I was mentioning to you guys earlier today that he was doing a press conference for Peshawar Zalmi, and he was mentioning that he didn't know why he was dropped. But he was essentially getting to the fact that I'm going to work hard, get back into the team. He was saying all the right things, but I remembered that Wahab Riaz had said that this guy's being rested. So I don't. Maybe that wasn't communicated to him. Again, this is one of those
this is
things that
Pakistan
just
cricket.
poor
Back to
management.
Pakistan cricket.
This is Pakistan
So
cricket.
here's my thing. Here's my thing. Right, like World Cup year. Yeah, Muhammad Haris should be your second choice wicket keeper, but first choice in the team, right? Like Rizwan and Haris should both be in the team. So why isn't he getting that match practice, right? Like I understand what you mean, Ramiz, when you're saying like, maybe give him a try. And there is about like what? There's about 16 T20 eyes before the World Cup. So
Yeah,
I mean, if
16.
Azam Khan scores 500s, like you're not going to give Haris a chance after that, right? I'm just saying, you're not going
500.
to give him a chance. Like he has to. Like, why are we testing out
500s at an average of 2.3, right?
why are we testing out like somebody that we've already given a chance to failed at this point, and why are we not giving that practice to a Muhammad Haris who hasn't done who's completely rested? He needs like the match practice.
I mean, to be fair though, Haris has also not really done that well in T20 internationals. He's not played a lot, but from what he's played 9 innings and he scored 126 runs. Average is 14, and strike rate is 127. Striker is obviously better than Azam Khan. Azam Khan's total career T20 national runs are 7 in 4 innings. It's pretty depressing. But
He
yeah,
has hit
Haris has
one
been good.
boundary in those stats, Rameez. In 5 matches, this guy
Has
hit
he?
one boundary. Yeah, we're looking at the
Oh
same thing,
God.
right? Four is one.
So he scored 7 runs in his career and won 4.
तो इसका
Wow.
मतलब है एक
He's
चौका
been-
मारा है इसने, 5 मैचों में इसने एक चौका मारा है
But
और 3 रन इसने
that
बनाए
doesn't
बनाए हैं।
matter if we're that.
That's
Oh
a
God.
That
serious
doesn't
stat.
matter if we're looking at like CPL and stuff, right? Like if we look at whole career, like T20s, what's the difference there, Ramiz?
Oh, significant difference. Azam Khan's played almost double the number of games. He's played 138 games, batted 128 times. He scored 2,776 runs at 25 average and 144 strike rate. And Harris has played 64 innings out of 64 games, 1,516 runs, 24.45 average, and 146.61 strike rate. So I guess
Very
they're very
similar, right?
close.
And Hodges has
Very
proved
similar, yeah.
himself on the big stage, right? He played that innings against South Africa,
Yeah.
World 2022, right? Like,
Sydney, right?
Yeah.
yeah, Australia.
One thing I want to ask, so I think this is kind of like that thing we were discussing at length about like Sarfraz and Rizwan too, right? What do you guys think of his keeping? Like the problem is when you play somebody like Azam Khan as keeper, you when you play somebody like Azam Khan, he has to play as a keeper. Now you cannot. If Mohammad Haris plays, you have a choice between those two. You can play whoever as keeper, and you have that choice, right? Azam Khan cannot field, so this this guy has to play as keeper, and we don't like. I haven't seen him enough as a keeper to say. I'm guessing I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's not better than Mohammad Rizwan, and that's the problem, right?
So
That
You mean
again puts you in a
Mohammad
position where.
Haris
Go ahead.
in keeping?
I was saying
Okay.
Rizwan, but I'm also saying Mohammad Haris. Yeah, yeah. I think he's probably not better than either of them, right? Do you guys disagree?
Rizwan
Rizwan is the
is
best.
is an
So
Rizwan is
insane
the best. Yeah.
sorry,
fielder and an
sorry.
insane wicketkeeper. But to me, if you put Hodis in there, then you have a wicketkeeper in Hodis, and then you have another sick fielder in Rizwan. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So you lose more
Sorry,
in the fielding
with
department
Azam
too,
Khan,
right? And
100%.
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Ramiz.
Yeah.
sorry. While we're on the conversation of wicket keepers, I want to take this opportunity to
No.
admit
Okay. Oh yeah.
Sarfraz is over.
Yeah.
Sarfraz is done.
Did he retire?
It's over. No,
Yeah,
but
he's
he's
done.
done. He's
Should we have
there's no
a?
I
there's no
would.
I think
I'm
we
stopping him,
gonna.
should.
man.
Lo-
I think we should have a
Change
moment
of
of
heart.
silence.
I'm gonna play this clip back if Surfaraz is in the squad for the next series. Yo, it's gonna be awesome.
यार अगर
Yeah, no, he might bring them back, but like he doesn't have space anymore, man. After what Rizwan did in this Australia series, there's no room for Sarfraz, man. I don't know, maybe Sarfraz would have played decent too, but after what Rizwan's done, it's over for me. It's debate's
Rizwan is
done.
It's
miles
been
better, man. He's in
Yeah.
all departments. He's miles better right now. Should we have a moment of silence for Ramiz, Sarfraz, and Haris? Haris is not here, so he's gonna be really upset when he hears this.
and let's do it for Imam being dropped in the third test too.
Let's do it for that.
Bro,
So what I'll do is
वो तो karma आ गया था ना सामने, भाई ने कैच ड्रॉप कर दिया, 2 डक हो गए, तो मुझे कुछ बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है इसके बारे में.
Oh, अच्छा 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 अच्छा. चलो
Abdullah
ठीक
did
Bro,
है.
the talking for me.
I will dick ride Imam too if you just give me half of whatever you're getting paid to talk good about him.
No, I'm just a
Yeah.
fan of him, man.
यार उसने क्या ऐसा काम किया कि तुम उसके
Yeah.
फैन बन गए हो? What has he done?
I don't know. He has
Is he
decent
easy on
stats,
the
man.
eyes? I'm just
Could be one of the reasons. Could be.
He passes the eye test,
It
both in
passes the
terms
eye
of batting and hotness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I really hate about Imam is his overconfidence. It's so frustrating. I remember this was last year or the year before that. No, last year.
When you say last year, do you mean
Early last
2023?
year, where
Okay.
2023, early 2023. Someone asked them about giving chances to other guys like Iftikhar and
I remember
whatnot.
that interview, yeah.
And he's like, oh, nahi, team ban chuki hai, jo hai unko khelna chahiye. And I'm like, bro, can you just deflect or like say something, bro? Like, what are you talking about? You're not the captain. You don't make those decisions.
Yeah, more than just being stupid, like you're not the captain. You cannot
Yeah.
you cannot just make that call for your captain, right? Anyway, yeah, Imam is a loser. Sorry, Hermes.
Sorry, Ramiz. Yeah.
Dosti yaari.
All right, let's move on to. So we talked about Azam
Back
Khan.
to yeah.
We're not happy about it, but it
Azam.
is what it is. The big topic, I guess, is Saim Ayub opening. Ramiz, actually, why don't you sent that tweet right with the squad? You want to read that out, the playing 11 for tonight, if you have it handy on you.
Yes, yeah, I have it. So
Is
Mohammad
that confirmed?
Rizwan's, I don't know, but Kadir Khwaja tweets pretty reliable stuff
Yeah,
from
he's
what
usually
I've
pretty
seen.
reliable. Okay, read it out. Let's go.
Yeah. So lineup, I don't know if it's in order, but Rizwan, Saim Ayub, Babar Azam, Fakhar Zaman, Iftikhar Ahmad, Azam Khan, Amir Jawal, Osama Mir, Shahin Afridi, Abbas Afridi, Haris Rauf. Before we get into too much of it, I just want to say Fakhar Zaman needs to be dropped. I don't know why he's still in the team. Now you
Imam
guys can
go
go
up is
ahead.
low.
Imam
T20s,
Kowal.
man.
Ramiz has his lovers and his haters, man.
Yeah,
Bro,
this guy
Fakhar's
is.
trash, man.
Yo,
Fakhar
this is
Zaman's
why we have
garbage,
to.
bro. No
This is
one
why
can
we
tell
have
me
to put an E on
otherwise.
the episode because you just keep dropping f bombs.
Bro, he's
Yeah.
trash, man.
Yeah.
He's like Shahid Afridi, but slightly more consistent.
I like his
That's it.
All
unorthodox
right,
That's
hold on,
play.
all
hold
I
I
on,
have
hold
like
to
his
on.
say.
unorthodox play when he's actually in the groove. It's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like Shahid Afridi
Mm.
too.
I
Easy
think
Yeah,
on the
he's
comparing
eyes.
easy
him
on
to
the
Afridi
eyes.
is not a good
No, not at
comparison.
all.
I think he's a
It
lot
is though.
better.
It is. Of
He,
course it is.
no, dude, he's a
Easy.
lot better than Afridi in terms of batting. Afridi might be a better
I
overall
don't know.
player just because he can bowl, he
No,
can
that's
field
what I
really
said.
well.
He's slightly more consistent, right? Slightly more consistent, but like Afridi.
Anyway, I wanted
What
to talk
last
about
what last
opening.
inning do you remember? What last inning do you remember before Fakhar Zaman's New Zealand inning
The
against
whole
in the World
5
Cup?
games that he played against New Zealand and Pakistan, the ODI series.
What
He
did he
scored
do
like
there?
350 runs, bro. He scored like 100
I don't even
plus
remember
and
that.
अब रमीज कहेगा वो flat pitches scene वो doesn't count. And it was,
No, I'm
and
not
he'll
gonna
use the
say that,
same
bro.
logic. He'll
जहाँ
be
खेल
like,
रहे
it
हो
was
वहाँ पे खेल.
New Zealand B team and
जहाँ
yeah,
it
खेल
doesn't
रहे
B
हो
team,
वहाँ
count.
खेल
C
रहे हो,
team.
right?
Man, I freaking hate it when they take away fuckers' runs because of B team, C team.
Yeah.
You're ruining it,
No,
man.
Fakhar के
Zen,
लिए
you're ruining
okay.
it, bro. No, but
Um,
Fakhar, he's
No,
trash, bro.
T20s maybe I would say
His average,
T20s he plays slow. Like his play slow in the beginning.
his strike rate is the same as Babar Azam and
That's
Rizwan.
true.
so who else, Ramiz? Who else is in the squad that you would put instead of him?
Honestly, I don't
Fakhar
even know what
Zaman
his
should
squad
be
looks
dropped
like.
and
Yeah,
Muhammad
I haven't.
Haris
I
should
don't
be
know
in his
what.
spot.
Yeah, I agree.
नहीं मोहम्मद हारिस स्क्वाड
Well,
में ही नहीं है
Harris should be
भाई.
in Azam
No,
Khan
but
की
I'm
जगह
just
पर
saying
होना
like
चाहिए
in
उसको
the
तो.
lineup. If they're gonna play Azam Khan,
Yeah, yeah.
So
Like
we
वही तो कह
have
रहा हूँ lineup की क्या बात वो तो उसको it's not, he's not even in the 16 or 18 man squad,
well, I don't
so
know
he
either, so let
can't
me
be
pull
there.
that up.
While he looks
So
that up,
the other two
what?
options I have it ready here. The other two options we had for batting was Hasibullah or Saibzada Farhan. And batting wise, that's the only options we have
So
available, which is
with that,
pretty
Hasibullah
I
is
lame.
agree.
also a
I would
wicketkeeper.
like to play somebody like,
Hasibullah is also a
yeah,
wicketkeeper.
but I want to
Yeah,
see
wicket keeper
Saadada
better.
Farhan. This guy has scored a lot of runs in domestic. I would like to see him. And you're right, Ramiz. I think if somebody to be dropped to get him in, it should be Fakhar then.
Yeah.
Because we know what Fakhar is, we know what he's like, we know what his game is. Even if he plays the World Cup and the series moving forward, then yeah, if you're taking a guy to, and this is kind of the same thing that I was saying about Simon Yu, right? If you're going to take a guy to see what he's got, play him. Don't just sit him on the bench, right?
Bro, you know what I
Um,
just
but,
realized?
but we keep talking about Fakhar Zaman. I wanted to get you guys' take on the opening. This is a big change. Simon Ayub and Rizwan are going to be opening. What do you guys think?
Hold on,
Give me
man.
your
Hold on.
thoughts.
Let me just drop a quick. Let me just
This is a
just let
terrible
me just drop a
podcast.
quick bomb on you guys. If the Har is being
Okay,
sat
drop the
out, I
bomb.
just realized that.
Um,
Anyways, man,
No, Iftikhar's playing,
is
isn't
he?
he?
Oh, you said his
He's
name?
playing. Yeah.
Okay,
Of
man.
course I said
Yeah.
his
See,
name.
यार सुन
I was
लिया
like,
करो
you
ना.
know, how could if the Har not be playing? Yeah, sorry.
जहन की फट
Yeah,
गई थी
man.
कि
I was about to
T20
I was about to Ramiz on you guys when you were talking about Imam.
But yeah, give me your thoughts
I
on the
love it.
opening.
I think that's fantastic, man. I think Simon Ayub opening with Rizwan, that's going to be so much fun to watch. Inshallah. Yeah.
Yeah. All the
I don't know.
BA56 accounts on Twitter are not happy about this because Babar's gonna be playing at 3.
I don't know. For me, it's like, why fix something that's not broken, right? I really don't think Rizwan Babar opening partnership was an issue for us.
Where do you play Saim?
But let's see. I don't know, man. Like, if we're bringing him in just to open, it's like we're playing him for the sake of playing, right? Barber is one have so many successful chases. They won us
Chase
so
is
many
sure, but what
games.
about what about
I just
setting
don't
what about
know.
I
setting the
disagree.
stage?
I
What about
think
setting
yeah.
the stage? What about actually like, setting a good platform? Because I think that's where they falter.
They've done that. They've done that, right? They've done that in the past too. Like we made how many semi? We made one semifinal, one final. You can't tell me that they're not good openers. If you're making
No,
two
no,
back
they
to
are
back
good
semis and
openers.
finals,
I think the argument being made is that they are the same kind of player, right? And with all the success they've had in chasing, like you're saying, that's fine. I just think if you're bringing somebody like Simon Eubin, who is this big talent, and we expect great things from him, he's an opener. You have to play him as an opener. I If he plays at like 7, I'm gonna be really sad and upset.
Yeah, you can't play him at 7.
That's
But
not. Just don't play
here's the
him then.
kicker.
no, if he's playing
Here's
as
the
the
kicker.
open, yeah.
Simon Ayub gets out first ball. Like, what are we at? We're at your favorite opening partnership.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. What do you mean? You have to play the guy 5 games at
No, no.
least. Come on, dude.
What I'm
That's
saying is he gets
insane.
out first ball. It's Rizwan and Bubber, basically, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying drop him. I'm saying that's what you're gonna get,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna
Sorry.
get
Okay,
what it
okay.
is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So even
Exactly. Yeah.
that seems a little. You're just kind of.
Do you guys
Yeah.
know? Do you guys know he's played international
Yeah,
for
they
us
played
already,
against
right?
Afghanistan,
Samuel.
right?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
failed, right?
Yeah, he has
Afghanistan.
he played
Afghanistan.
8 games. He's batted 7 times, 123 runs, highest of 49, 17.57 average, and 123 strike rate. Uh,
Azam
strike
Khan's.
rate wise, he's not much better.
I don't think we should judge them off like such a small sample, man.
Yeah, a very
Even Azam
small sample
Khan's
size. Yeah,
freaking 2.3, that's not good enough to judge him, right? Maybe for you guys it is, but
bro, it's his
yeah,
fitness, man.
dude,
His fitness,
I'm just
bro.
saying, like, that's not the way that we should analyze this. With Saim Ayub, like, I remember when he came into the Afghanistan series, that was after the PSL. We were hyped. He gave away his wicket in all of those games in very amateur,
3 years.
immature ways, and even I remember the commentators were saying the same thing. So he's grown a lot. Like, he spearheaded that CPL team, right? What was it, Guyana or whatever? He spearheaded that
Yeah,
Guyana. He he spearheaded that team.
Guyana hota hai yaar.
Yo,
Why are you making them gay? Come on.
yeah.
you guys, man, I gotta push my
Guyana.
agenda somehow. Um, he spearheaded that team. He was their best player. He was the almost player of the tournament. So he's grown a lot. Just don't,
No,
just don't
I'm
turn
really
him to
excited.
shit.
Even though I didn't want the pair to be changed, I'm excited to see a little bit of a change. I just don't know how Babur's gonna work one down. Cause say like 10 overs done, what's he gonna do when he comes in? Like I don't know.
So that's the thing, right? I saw an interesting tweet the other day. Somebody, this was just like a random Twitter cricket fan account, and he said that there's room for only one of Babar and Rizwan on the team, and I know who I'm picking. And he didn't mention who, but I think he was alluding to the fact that it should be Rizwan, and
Rizwan
Babar should just
probably.
not
Yeah.
be in the team. And when you mention it like that, Ramiz, I think that brings up a good point, right? When let's say they play for 7 overs, 8 overs, and then Simon Ayub gets out, and then Babar and Rizwan are now playing
Tip,
at
tip, tip,
in the meat of
tuk
the
tuk.
innings. Tip. That is the time to do, rotate strike and kind of take it easy a little bit. But um, I think Babar has a better chance of doing that maybe if he opens
Yeah.
and accelerating a little bit at, like, let's say 10th or 12th over. So that logic kind of does
Makes sense.
make sense. I just think that you have to count on Simon Ayub to play the kind of innings that we know he can, right? You expect Simon Ayub to do like 50 from 30 or 50 from 25, that sort of innings. And then Babar doesn't have pressure on him. So that's the logic behind playing an aggressive opener like that and not playing. And most teams do that, right? Most teams have a guy like, Warner or England Kakone, Butler, and somebody like that, right? So these guys are very aggressive, ultra aggressive players. Pakistan is actually one of the only teams that for a long time did the two anchor opening
And they've been
partnership
so
thing, right?
successful. Like, I want to go
Um,
back to that because they have been super
Yeah.
successful, dude, in
yeah,
T20s, right? I think one, Bubber is he is a world class player. He is at the top of the list for many, many people. So if he knows what's best for him, he'll adjust his game, right? He'll come in and be that one down, if he needs to, if it's early on when he comes in, then he plays like how he does. If he comes in at the 10th over, then he needs to make sure that he can cement his place at number 3 and he can go hard. He needs to play according to the situation.
Yeah.
But do you think then, with the way that Rizwan is, from what I've seen and his natural game, Rizwan's natural game is more aggressive than Bobber's. Do you think it makes more sense for Bobber
Yeah.
to open with Saimayu, just like in Peshawar how they do, and Rizwan to come one down?
Uh, yeah,
I think that would be
I'm
a
not opposed
better.
to that. I just yeah. Yeah,
I think gives
I
us
think Babar is the kind
flexibility.
of yeah. Go ahead.
It gives us flexibility where if one game we can open there is one and Simon, then if it doesn't work for whatever reason, we still have the option of bringing Babar up, and Rizwan can go 3, or you Fucker opens, or he can come at 3. So we do have to. I think, in the top 4, other than Sim, all 3 guys can be rotated if needed. Because they all have similar strike rates. Fakhar Zaman looks like he plays really fast, but he really doesn't. All three
Yeah.
of them have similar strike rates, right? So I
Yeah.
think they're very interchangeable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
hopefully
move
let's see.
Ayub. I wouldn't move the other two. They have
No,
way more experience playing at different positions. Keep Saim where he is. Keep him as an opener, and then if you want to rotate, you can. Babar, we expect so much from him. He should be able to adjust and play at any position in the top 5 or 6. Realistically, he's never going to play at 5 or 6 or anything like that. But up until 4, we expect him to just adapt and be able to do what he needs to do. Let's move on. We've spent way too much time on this. I got to run too, so I want to get to two more things. Should Amir Jamal be playing T20s?
well, that's where we found him. No,
Yeah, he
from the PSL.
PSL.
Actually,
But given
yeah.
given his test performance right now and how great he was, um,
Are we in a
what do you think?
position to comment on this? The last time we
We, like, as
commented
in
on
you and
him,
me?
he shit on us last time we commented on him.
I think it's great.
Yeah, no, but I
I
So
think
mean,
it's great. I think he should play. It's 4 overs, right? He'll have some fun. He gets to be in New Zealand. Let's see what he can do if he can. He's a good batsman. He's a good, genuine. It feels like he's a genuine all rounder. If he can give us 4 solid overs and score like how he did in the Test series, if he can up that ante, bro, he's a solid spot for the World Cup.
Ben Stokes.
I think I the reason I asked
That
this
that
question is because
felt
I thought
very
you
out
guys
of
were going to say that,
context, but
and
continue.
Ben Stokes, bro, all-rounder है
Oh
यार और क्या चाहिए
नहीं वो
तुम्हें?
man.
कह रहा है कि वो बेन स्टोक्स बन जाएगा
Acha.
उसको भैंचोद नहीं कह रहा
Oh
वो
man. Ramiz, man, you threw me off. I didn't know who Ben Stokes was. I thought it was just
Th-
a word that you
that's where
say.
your mind was
Yeah,
going.
man.
He was actually just saying Ben
Yeah.
Stokes, man. Come on. मैं कह रहा था कि मैं क्या कह रहा था I
That's
was
too
saying
funny.
कि it's hard to find good test bowlers. That's where my kind of thought about, like, you've kind of unearthed a really good test bowler who can hang in there for 5 days. He was actually, I noticed that his pace was going up as the series went on. This guy was consistently bowling around 136, 138, which, by the way, is Cummins pace. That's like Hazelwood pace. So we think of our bowlers as slow, but he was up there, man. He was up there for the most part, around that same medium fast kind of pace. He was really good. You found something. I know it's only three test matches. I think is actually a fairly good sample size in a place like Australia to bowl well. You have other bowlers who can play T20s. You have Mohamed Wasim Jr. You have other players who are able to help you out in T20s. I think you need to protect a player like that a little bit, especially right after playing a test series, a long test series where he bowled a lot, he batted a lot. Um,
Maybe this is why he didn't bowl him in the last game,
exactly.
last inning.
Yeah. This is why this is why they dropped Shaheen, or rested Shaheen. So
Yeah, but that's a stupid decision, right? So that's where I'm coming at it from. I just there are so many other players you can play instead of him, rather
Zaman
than
Khan also.
Zaman Khan, and that's I'm thinking of like test cricket, and like we before we started this series, we were looking at like, okay, who's gonna bowl for us? We have all rounders, two of them, and now you found somebody who can you know, is is a good bowler in um it first change kind of in the middle of the innings and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I guess I'm fine with him playing. I don't want to risk him getting injured. But then again, we're playing our next tech series in like October, so probably
I
doesn't
think
even
we'll
matter.
know.
I
I
just
think
think
we'll know a
a player
lot.
like that maybe should focus.
I think we'll know a lot after this first game. Like I think we'll have more opinions and we'll see some shit after
Yeah.
this first game.
नहीं फिर वही वाली बात ना कि मतलब if you need to plan a guy like that his kind of next year or two out, right? If you're intending to play him, if you've decided, hey, this guy's gonna be a mainstay in our test team as a bowling all rounder, which by the way, I think Fahim Ashraf is done as a test player, because now you have somebody like Amir Jamal, right? So yeah, I mean, you need to kind of plan that out and say, should this guy be focusing only on red ball cricket? And I would be okay with that. Maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself after only 3 games,
If
but
he can find
I
success
don't
in
know. That's just my
T20s,
thought.
it goes back to the first conversation of where the money's at and all of that. If he can find success in T20s, you can't keep him a red ball player, bro.
Yeah.
No, but the problem
He's
is,
not
and
he's
you're
not a
right,
Muhammad
and that's what
Abbas.
is gonna
He's
happen.
not a Yasser Khan. Like he's not one of those
यार
players.
फिर यही होता है ना, ये अभी इसको वनडेज में भी डाल देंगे, इसको टी20s में भी डाल देंगे, एंड देन दिस इज द सेम थिंग. Why do you think Naseem Shah is sitting
I
right now?
agree. I
Like
agree. I'm 100% with you. Naseem Shah, man, that he played so much cricket and he was already complete. It's the management.
that's
It's
what
the
I'm saying,
management
right?
again. If they can like manage his load and do it's the again, it goes back to the base of it. Conditioning, fitness, medical team, and the conditioning team. If those two don't get it right, then every player is going to get injured, right? Then you might as well make every player a one format player because you're scared they're going to get injured.
I guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah,
So next thing.
but I don't know. You can't stop players
Not at
from
all,
playing
dude. You
T20s,
can't. You're basically
unfortunately.
saying like don't feed your family.
Where
Yeah.
the money's at?
नहीं, लेकिन T20 internationals में कितना, how much more is
But
it
that's his
than?
break, right? Like this is
Anyway,
where he's gonna
I
get now select like now freaking CPL is gonna put himself in the auction for BBL and CPL and blah blah blah. And they're gonna maybe select him,
yeah.
right? That's where it all comes from. And especially if he does
Yeah.
well in the
Yeah, but
PSL.
test cricket, why don't they care about the preservation of test cricket?
You as a fan does, right?
That's where I'm like,
I'm
looking.
again,
Anyway, yeah, you're right.
I
That
don't
makes a
give a
lot of sense.
shit if he plays in every goddamn league in the world as long as he prioritizes tests over that and he maintains his fitness and he does a Cummins
नहीं
and
तो वही मैं
Stark.
कह रहा हूँ ना, that's physically impossible. You can't expect a guy to play every league in the
So
world and
why
then
why
be
let me ask you a
perform
question.
at the
Why do
test
you
level. That's why we're
why
shitting on
why do you
Shaheen,
think
right?
Cummins and Stark they were like, sure, we're gonna not take the IPL money, we're not gonna take all that because they will get paid super well by Cricket Australia, right? Like
Yes,
that
yeah.
that's
That's
another
what I was gonna
thing,
say too.
right?
Their structure is set up in a
And
way where they really reward
and
test
now they're
cricket, right?
cashing out,
So
dude. 20 crores, like Stark is making they're making
yeah,
bank, man. That's probably how much the whole
yeah,
PSL has to buy players. Maybe less.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, I think this, particularly this series, I think you could have just rested him. There's so many other players. Mohamed Wasim Jr. is kind of he's always played T20s. I don't know why he's not playing. You could have played him. Anyway, that whatever. Last thing I want to ask you guys: Shaheen as captain, how's he gonna do? And then I know you've been kind of against him for some reason as captain. Uh, give me your thoughts. What is he gonna do?
Ramiz,
How
you
is he
go
gonna be
first.
as captain?
I think he'll do well. He has a good, decent history right now. He's won 2 back-to-back PSLs. Sure, he had a strong team, but you still have to win the games, and he pulled that off. I really liked that one game. I think it was the final of the PSL in 2023, where he came into bat at number 4, played a sick cameo. He scored like 40 something up like 16, 17 balls, and that inning was the game changer for Lahore in
So
that
that's
final.
foreshadowing, bro. That's
Oh,
foreshadowing when Rizwan. No, listen, listen,
oh,
listen,
if he
listen, listen.
failed, we would have
No, no,
been
listen. When
screwed.
Rizwan and Saima Ayub are batting till number 10 and Saima Ayub gets out, Babar's not coming in, bro. Shane Afridi's coming in and he's gonna score. Yeah,
And he's
he's gonna
gonna,
promote himself,
yeah.
to number 3. Um,
Yeah, I
And
mean, I
he's
mean,
gonna
if
do
if
it.
he's
He's gonna
confident
do it
about
in
it,
the first
yeah.
T20. He's
And
gonna.
after that, he's a mainstay at number
He's like,
4.
this is very
Yeah.
important. I need to bat at 4 right now. First
Yeah.
T20 of the New
I'm-
Zealand series. I need to
I mean,
save the game.
if he's confident about it and if he pulls it off, sure. But obviously, PSL bowling quality won't be as good as what we're going to see in the World Cup. But yeah, it's I'm excited to see what he can do with us. He has a track record, so not completely a noob.
I think my only problem is as his ego has risen, his performances have gone down a lot. And this all started Asia
Oh,
Cup.
performances
Yo,
have
This
did you
all
guys?
gone
started from
down
Asia
because
Cup,
of
man.
injuries, though.
Asia Cup, he started kind of, he started acting like he was bigger than the team. His shit started, not smelling anymore. So he thinks he's the shit, man. So I don't know, and he hasn't.
Acting like his
Yeah,
shit don't
exactly.
stink.
But I said in a different way.
No, his performances went down. His performances went down after that knee injury,
His
though. Like
speed
he
went
hasn't been
down
the
after
same
that
ever
knee
since.
injury. He was still playing well.
Yeah.
But now I
Dude,
think he's
did,
crap.
did you see did you see the clip
Oh
in the
God.
presser
Yeah, where
today?
he thought that he was bowling faster than 137.
No. So that's the problem, right? That clip was taken out of context. He was
Yeah, he was.
joking. Daniel Rasool from
That's what
Cricinfo
I thought.
I
posted
saw
that
that.
tweeted about that. He was like, I asked the question, and he was just being funny. He later on went to explain, fatigue and shit like that, and everybody's like, oh, this guy thinks that the speed gun was being tampered with. Just chill out. He wasn't saying that. Just wanted to
That's why
clear
you
that
should
up.
always
He
say,
wasn't
"This is
saying
a
that.
Thank
joke,
you.
explicit joke coming up right now." Yeah,
Yeah, right.
but
And especially all the Indian accounts are jumping on that right now. They're like, "Oh, this guy's a
Of
fucking
course.
not
loser.
just
This
the
guy
accounts,
thinks
probably the news too. But
Australia tampered
I
with."
think that I think he'll be successful as a captain. But I don't think I think he needs to humble himself a little bit. He needs to go back to who he was, and I think then his performances will go up.
यार पाकिस्तान में यही होता है ना, दो मैच खेलते हैं, अभी आमिर जमाल भी जो है ना, पता नहीं
Yeah,
समझेगा मैं क्या चीज बन गया हूँ. It's gonna be
let's
the same
see.
thing.
Yeah.
He's gonna become another Imamul Haq, right? Overconfidence, baby.
Me.
I think
Me.
Shaheen, I think the biggest mistake he did was becoming Shahid Afridi's son-in-law, because now I think he's gonna
Oh,
ruin
bhai.
him, man.
He's set for
Yeah,
life,
I
bro.
mean,
God, imagine having Shahid Afridi in your
oh
ear all the
man,
time,
this
telling
guy's
you
his
giving you
Shaheen
advice.
Afridi guaranteed is his bitch, yo. Like guaranteed, yo. Guaranteed,
Yeah, right.
man. I would be if I was. Yeah, man. He's
Yeah, you're right. Actually, now that you mention it, that is a stupid decision this
yeah,
guy made to
yeah, dude,
marry into that family.
Nah, man. Look at the big picture, guys. He's set for
Yeah.
life. Fast bowler. I don't think Shaheen's career is gonna last for more than 5 more years, because of his injury issues.
Yeah, Shaheen ki
And
age kya hai?
he
Let's look it up.
he's 20 something.
Who wants to
22.
guess? What? Don't look it up.
22.
You guys guess.
I guess
I
22.
He's 23. He's 23.
23,
He's
almost
younger than I
24.
thought. I thought he was like 24. So he's really young, man. This guy is really young.
Yeah. He's probably gonna last another 5 years, though, in my opinion.
I think
that'll be
internationally
so?
he's gonna last
I
another
mean,
5
yeah,
years, and then he's just gonna play like the league circuit.
fast bowlers in general, right?
I don't
Like,
think Shahid Afridi is gonna let
Why?
him do that, though.
abhi keh raha tha कि that was a
Why?
good decision.
Why?
He won't let
Oh
him do
right,
it.
that's true though.
No, he won't let him. He won't let him retire. Stop playing
Oh
international is
yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying. I don't
He
think he's
also
gonna
tells him when
let
to
him stop
eat
playing
and use the
international.
bathroom.
He just proved that he's a bitch, like you were saying, right? He won't let him do that.
His own dad sits back and says, "Do what you want," and Shahid Afridi comes in and just backhands.
Who even knows Shaheen Afridi's dad?
Yeah,
Do we even know that he
yeah.
exists?
He's just another Afridi.
No,
I know his brother.
Riyaz
Riaz Afridi was his brother.
Afridi, right?
He used to play for Pakistan.
Yeah,
He
he
played
played
for
a couple
Pakistan.
games,
Yeah. Played for
Yo,
Pakistan
that
for a
means
bit.
You know
Shaheen
him
Afridi's
personally?
a parchi, man.
No.
Yeah,
भाई
he's a
सब पर्ची हैं
parchi.
भाई पाकिस्तान में सब पर्ची हैं सब पर्ची हैं भाई
Chal, man, I gotta bounce
No,
you
he's
guys.
Azam Khan's
Sorry. No, go
Yeah,
ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead with
let's
Azam Khan.
wrap it up. This
I
is
wanted to finish with Azam Khan.
no I was just gonna talk about the parties in the team.
Say them all.
give me a list. Give me a list of all the
Babar
parties.
is- let me pull it up. Well, Babar's related to
This guy has a list?
the Akbar
Yo.
brothers. No, I'm just going to
Yo,
the squad, bro.
hold on. Babar's related to
Babar-
the Akmo. I know that, but you think he's a parchi because of that? Oh,
No. Imam, him and Imam go
yeah,
way
they're
back.
like boyfriends, yo.
Inzamam was a
Yeah.
selector as well. Inzi was selector,
So
so I
you're
don't know.
saying Babar's
Could be.
batting talent has
No,
nothing
Bro,
to
he's
do with
Zimbabwe. What do you
that's not
expect?
what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I'm
Oh,
just talking about
Ramiz hates
Ramiz with the
Babar.
hot
relationships.
takes, man.
Time
I
to
Always.
end
love
the
Babar.
episode. Ramiz hates Babar.
I love Babar. Babar is easy on the eyes.
Oh man.
Both in terms of
Yo,
hotness
there's
and
only
batting.
one player that's there fully
Exactly.
on merit. Iftikhar.
Ifti mania.
Ifti
Yeah.
bichara, yaar. Ifti. I'm gonna.
Can't forget
Yeah,
Nawaz,
I'm
bro.
excited to see Ifti
Yeah,
tonight,
man.
man. It's
I'm
gonna be
excited to
good.
see some good 4 overs, man.
All right. Let's wrap it up. This is taking too long. Anything else you guys want to mention? Any word for Haris?
Congrats, buddy.
He's
So for us,
Yeah.
Seffi's over, bro.
Congratulations on multiple
yeah. Sorry,
fronts.
Haris. Seffi's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations to us that
Yeah.
Seffi's done. Uh, as fans. But yeah, thanks for listening. We're gonna be watching the New Zealand game in 2 hours from now. I think it's starting at 1 a.m. Eastern, right?
110.
Yeah, it's 11 p.m. right now. So yeah, in a couple of hours we'll be watching that. We'll be back in maybe 2 or 3 days. Maybe after 2 or 3 T20s are done, we'll do another episode, do like a midway series review for Pakistan, and then yeah, we'll continue with episodes after that. Thanks for listening. Keep following us on Instagram and Twitter at shot_yard, YouTube at shotyard, and TikTok at shotyard. Visit our website at shotyard.com. Peace out. Thanks for listening.